Howdy, howdy, gang, and now it's time to engage in a long-standing Bittersweet Gamers tradition, investigating a murder site.
Come to think of it, you're right.
Deadly Premonition, Danganronpa 2, all of our primary games have us investigating murder.
Actually, with the exception of Persona, you're right. I mean, even Dr. Decker is the same, is something like that.
Yeah, I guess Persona's the odd one out.
I never watched a lot of crime dramas.
We're the Bittersweet investigators.
I'm the murderinator.
I don't have a response for that.
Excellent.
I'm innocent squared.
Don't get on my bad side.
Oh no.
Okay, dumb stuff aside. Last thing I want to do before we actually move on to something else and do something. Wouldn't it be great? I was just thinking about Emma here. She actually gets to do what she loves more than anything else in the world as her job. Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, it would.
How happy and how fulfilled would that make you?
I'd probably make you give up snackaroos. Binging those couldn't have been good for her.
Okay, you know what else I like?
Yeah.
So not only does she have long hair, which is always good, but she has that ears poking out behind the forelock bangs, and I've always liked that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cute too.
Random, pointless meandering aside, let's go do some more random, pointless meandering.
Excellent. So, dressing room or stage first, Damon?
Let's do the dressing room first.
Yeah, the stage is going to be the,
It's like I always go to the murder site last.
You should.
Like, collect as much information ahead of time, and we never did investigate this place last time. The dressing room looks just the way it did before the incident. We never did examine it because Billy just forgot, but...
Shut up.
All these items look kind of lonely without their owners.
Except those rabbits, they look like they're having a grand old time. We have to find Trucy's notebook for her.
Yeah, it's gotta be this... Well, no, that's Bonnie's notebook. Let's see, she said it would be in her blue handbag on the table, right? We should see what else we can check out while we're here, like this 5,000-cent coin, and looking at all the animals, and looking at the cute blue Alice in Wonderland dress, and all the everythings. Look at all these costumes! Wowzaroonies! I bet they're all Trucy's.
Wowzaroony?
Well, I just felt like I was saying something extremely contrived.
Ooh, could you tell by the scent? Are you like... some kind of bloodhound or something?
Athena.
Or are you one of those kind of people?
I'm really good at seeing details, not smelling them. I'm her assistant, not her pet! Athena's the one who would be more like a bloodhound.
Ooh, these are from Prosecutor Gavin.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't think of it like that. We were thinking about Francisca. But I guess that's just because we miss Francisca and like Gavin.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a connection to Apollo, does she?
No, but it would have been like a connection to Phoenix's daughter, which is a good enough reason to do it. But I don't know why I didn't think it. It's not like he wasn't even in Dual Destinies 2. But you see what you want to see, right? Roses, huh? How like him? Pretentious. Except he's not really.
They might be pretentious, but you know what? He makes it work.
That's what I was saying. I still like it better bringing...
Apollo, I've noticed this for a while now, but... you get awfully prickly when it comes to Prosecutor Gavin.
He was supposed to be my rival, but I'm still a rookie, and so I don't really need or have a rival. What?
I mean, don't hate him just because he's beautiful.
That's not it at all. Bah! Unnecessary tension! Gavin was always so nice. He always cooperated with Apollo and was friendly. Why should there be any dislike? So, it's a dove. Trucy must use it in one of her tricks.
Yeah. There's another bird cage next to it. I wonder what's in that one.
Coo-coo-ca-choo!
It's a walrus! No one's old enough to get that joke.
Did you say no one's gold enough?
I meant to say old enough, but that is what I said.
No one's mold enough?
No one's sold enough.
No one's told enough. Yeah, I don't know what that was either. What in the world was that?
Oh, I guess we're not gonna find out, are we?
Must be a walrus in there. Tracy put some posters up, I see. Oh, here's one of Troop Grammary.
Troop Grammary. Magical menagerie, huh? I like that.
Yeah.
Looks like a bunch of folks dressed in outfits a bit too gaudy for their age, if you ask me.
But isn't that pretty much how all the best magicians dress? I mean, you look at it and it just screams.
Magician, yeah. Was Troop Grammary really such a big deal back in the day?
I don't know, I'm a little kid. I mean, no, that's not true. Athena is. Apollo's like 7 or 8 years older. I guess so. Everybody in the country knew him back then. They had great tricks. Like making a building disappear or escaping a safe drop from a helicopter.
Oh my god, that is amazing! Wow, I was in Europe at the time, so I had no idea.
Escaping from a safe that's dropped from a helicopter?
You only get one shot at it. I don't think that the safety net big enough. But if even you know about them, then they must have been really, really famous.
What are you saying? I used to see him a lot on TV. I think it was back when I was in junior high. The one in black was the original leader of Troop Grammary, Trucy's grandfather. His name was Magnify Grammary. The one in pink with the mustache, that's Zach Grammary. I couldn't remember which one he was. Trucy's late biological father.
Oh, and look, there's Mr. Rias. So this poster's from back when he was a member of Troop Grammary, huh?
Trucy said he left the troop after he was injured during a show or something, right? That makes sense.
That's going to be important.
You know, let's take a look at that right now.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, why not? It's like you get evidence, you gotta take the measure of it. Plus, it's stuff you can present. Man, this just makes me realize how long it's been. I've only ever played each of the games in the series one time. I never did replay any of them.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got the spade. We've got a heart. We've got a club and diamond. Diamond, you can kind of see the angle right there. But I guess he's the Joker.
Yeah, okay.
That's why he's got the mask like that. He's the Joker.
That's pretty good.
Ha 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 ha! I pay attention to details.
Between the two of us, there's a 10% chance that we might catch 50% of the details.
Those are pretty good odds.
Look at all this stuff. They must belong to Mr. Rias. Something about the color scheme.
And like that's his little epaulette sort of design.
Epaulette? Oh yeah, you're right.
Like
okay.
the little chain that holds his cloak together.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the colors on that briefcase. Do you think he carries that around with him on his time off?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, I think they look pretty cool. Super gaudy, but if you dress like this professionally, you know. Well, during his shows, he wears a mask to hide his identity, so maybe
excuse
not.
me, he wears half a mask. Though I guess that's enough to make it hard to recognize someone at sight.
Well, maybe he's trying to hide half of his identity. If he carried that briefcase around when he wasn't working, wouldn't it give him away?
But you've got to change gears and look at things in a different way at a time like this.
Oh yeah? Meaning... Well done. Well done.
Screw you, Nox player. Well, what if Mr. Rias wore his full costume all the time, even when he wasn't working?
Oh!
Then that briefcase wouldn't have given him away one bit. He just wouldn't have any private time.
People would still know he was Mr. Rias, though. Because he's still dressed like Mr. Rias. Very good, Athena. Very, very good.
I'm getting pretty good at this turn your thinking around stuff, huh?
She's like a little kid who's learned a new trick and couldn't wait to try it out. Is that a microwave? Like, really, what is that?
That does kind of look like a microwave, doesn't it? Look at all this stuff. I bet it belongs to that bunny assistant we saw in the show.
It must be nice that everybody is color-coded. You can easily tell what belongs to who.
It's really convenient.
Although I guess when I'm thinking about it, The clothes that I wear tend to be the same colors over and over again.
Well, don't look at me. I don't have any fashion sense.
I just like wearing gray and black, okay? And then sometimes some dark brown.
Ooh, edgy.
So everything I have is gray, black, and dark brown. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. Does she really need all of that? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen so much makeup. Look, you just have never seen makeup then. That's not even very much.
It really isn't.
I've seen more than that when it comes to like stage makeup from back when I was doing theater.
When it comes to sheer number of items, your desk back at the office isn't any better.
That's what they say, that it's super cluttered, but I've never really paid attention because you were never at the office. Those things are the natural accumulation of 2 years of work, and they are all necessary.
Uh-huh. Really? Instant noodles and crackers?
They're all necessary. I need those for when I have to stay at the office all night prepping a case.
That makes sense. And the comic books too?
I need that for when I have... Of course I need the yes. Manga these days are super realistic and informative. I need them for research.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see. So you need to research street fighting and the funnies, do you?
And the funnies?
Of course.
You know, haven't we kind of been predicting several of the lines of dialogue rather well? All I mean by that is we're in sync with the game.
That's always a good thing.
Okay, so what's up with the blue rabbit?
Oh, look at the adorable little bunnies!
Rabbits, huh? I used to have a pet rabbit.
Really? You? You sure don't look like the type.
What do you mean? What's wrong with me having a pet rabbit?
Aren't people who have rabbits as pets usually the quiet, sensitive type?
What? Pardon me for being so loud and insensitive then. It's like, I really wanted a cat, like, my whole life, and circumstances dictated that I could never have a cat. And so now that I have a cat, I really like my cat, alright? What's this? A script of the show? It says Bonnie, so realistically and logically, it must belong to that bunny assistant we saw in the show. Here we go. You and I got to see the first 2 parts up to the end of the 10:20 a.m. segment. Mr. Rias's fire trick. Make sure the fire bucket is ready.
Yeah.
But this Mr. Rias's fire trick, we didn't get to see that part.
Yeah, because they canceled the show after the accident.
So that was going to be the last big trick, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a note about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready.
But why would they keep fire in a bucket?
You'll find out later, Athena. It was water. Put out fire. Come to think of it, when Mr. Rias turned into a dragon, it breathed fire, didn't it?
Out of a bucket! Coin tricks and fire tricks were Mr. Rias' specialty.
Huh.
Maybe they had some big finale planned.
They'd breathe on everybody and turn them into coins?
Fire coins. Coins that are on fire.
Oh, turning them into burning coins!
Where Mr. Rias and Trucy would face off in a grand magical showdown after his revival.
I mean, that is the only way to do it.
Yeah.
She's already beaten him, so...
Yeah.
It has to be an even bigger one than before!
Let's just take a look at it. I mean, it's going to be the exact same thing, but you never know. Okay, so 40 minutes after the teleportation and escape trick was the fire trick. Oh! Aha! We can investigate each flower separately.
Huh. Aren't these Ninetales flowers?
This is Francisca!
There we go!
Ninetales a type of whip!
Ha 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 ha! You know, those flowers that only grow in Ninetales Vale?
Or maybe it's something else.
Yeah, this is from, man, we're just determined to get Francisca in here somewhere. What was her name? I don't know. I can't remember her name. She was from, like, the second case in Dual Destinies.
Oh, well, then I certainly wouldn't
Yeah, you
know.
wouldn't.
Oh, my goodness, you're right.
That was the That was when Athena met Apollo.
Oh, there's a card here and a letter to go with it.
I can't remember her name. I apparently can't remember anything.
The card says, "Good luck, Trucy, from Damien and Jinxie Tenma."
Yeah, Jinxie was who I was thinking of. Mayor Tenma and Jinxie, huh? What does the letter say?
I just read it. Why are you looking at me like that? Let's see. Oh, there's a message for you in here, too. Please tell Mr. Demon Lawyer I said thank you for everything.
Yeah, Jinxie was always terrified of me, come to think of it.
Thanks to him, I overcame my fears and now I'm not afraid of yokai anymore. What on earth happened?
Look, she was a super yokai obsessive teenager.
Uh-huh.
It's like me and giant robots, except like about 3 times. You couldn't have a conversation with her without it going into yokai at some point.
I am legitimately terrified. And guess what? I've even become friends with yokai like Itan Moeman. Itan Moeman. Moe. Where's Moe? Itan Momen and Konaki Gigi.
So she's the same as she ever was then.
Good to know.
That makes no matter what happens, I guess you'll never grow out of her demon obsession.
What kind of people do you know?
That was a very strange case. I bet those are from Francisca!
I bet they're from Francisca!
Hey, these flowers, they're from I don't know how to freaking Lamirois!
Lamirois, ooh. Lamirois? Where have I heard that name before?
She's a famous singer. This was before your time. They call her the Siren of the Ballad, and she's pretty popular. Do you remember that case in Apollo Justice?
I really don't remember much about Apollo Justice, except thinking he used his special powers by looking through his bracelet.
Apparently, between the two of us, we don't actually remember anything about these games at all, so it's like we just started fresh.
I remember Gavin did, like, guitar riffs. Why would a famous singer be sending Trucy flowers?
Well, something we had said in the past, and something that we generally do when we bring up other games is, like, when it comes to major stuff, we don't want to just drop lots of spoilers for them. So since we've apparently forgotten everything except I remember this detail, just a spoiler warning for Apollo Justice. Because again, if you watch a Let's Play of one game, you don't necessarily want another one spoiled, but
right.
It is the same series, I guess. And these are pretty self-contained. They've never brought it up again.
Uh-huh.
But Lamirois was Apollo and Trucy's mom.
Oh, that's kind of important.
I guess you forgot about that.
I guess I did.
Anyway. Well, we met her through a case I headed up once, and it was a crazy case. You remember when you were talking about, like, we're looking at the footage and videos? In Apollo Justice, you had to watch that thing like 400 million times. I just wanted to throw up everywhere. I was so sick of that.
Wow, your circle of acquaintances is bigger than I thought. You hermit?
Lamirois. I don't know why, but her songs really touch me for some reason.
It's a mystery to everyone.
I hope she's doing well. Why would she send the flowers indeed? Phoenix seems to know.
Yeah.
Phoenix knows, but...
So, alright. That's everything. Time for what is clearly Trucy's outfit. Trucy's bag.
Time for Trucy's outfit.
She's going to wear it on her
Francisca,
head.
send it to her. Oh, here's that handbag Trucy was talking about. I guess you can just, you can stick your legs through the 2 loops on the side, and then, your arms will be, free, and then you wear the bag on your head. That definitely sounds like it's something Francisca would send.
It does, kind of, yeah.
I feel a little funny about digging around in a girl's purse.
You can have Athena do it.
Well, I guess it's okay to open it. After all, she did ask us to.
But not you, Apollo. Let me do it.
Come to think of it, I never even dug around in my ex-wife's purse. Why would I have needed to do it?
Right? Let's see. Huh? No, not this. What's this? Ooh, what's this? This looks fantastic too. Just starts throwing all sorts of stuff out of the bag. Oh, wow. She has... Oh, Trucy, you are bad.
Oh, my! What is it? I want to see too.
Don't worry about it, Apollo. That's funny. She said it was a black notebook, right? But there's nothing like that in here.
Maybe Trucy was wrong about where she left it? Well, let's keep looking around for it.
Or maybe it was taken.
It obviously was.
Ha!
What would it be doing in there?
I say we take a look through Mr. Rias's things too.
Well, may as well. Well, actually, that
Oh,
is
it
a
is!
notebook sticking out from behind his briefcase.
You're right!
How did we miss
Practically
that?
Screaming! Over here! Look at me!
Because indeed, what was it I said? There's a 10% chance we'd notice 50% of the details.
Didn't we notice that notebook the first time we were in here
No,
talking
we didn't.
to Trucy? Oh man, I thought we had.
I can say that for a fact
Because you edited it.
because I just edited it yesterday. Do you think it could be... Oh, wow. Athena. I think it's from Francisca. Our hunch was right. It is Trucy's notebook. Hold on.
I like the magnifi, like sort of kanji picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a kanji picture. It's glorious.
What's it doing mixed in with Mr. Rias's stuff?
Good question.
In fact, it seems kind of suspicious it was poking out to that degree, doesn't it?
Kinda does.
Kind of seems like someone yanked it from the notebook, or from the bag. Yanked the notebook from the notebook.
Well,
from
I
the
mean-
bag and put it there specifically to be seen.
That's possible. I mean, it could just be a red herring.
Possible, but we need to point out every inconsistency we find.
Well, we don't know what the inconsistency
Nope,
would
it's
be.
an inconsistency, I promise.
Well, look,
I have
mean,
no idea.
What? Likely, the murderer who's got to be Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
Or
Or Raints, whatever his freaking name is.
Rettins. It could be Mystery Tins. I don't know. Like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, like. Anyway, whoever it is, like say somebody needed to look at the notebook, so they open up Trucy's bag, pull out the notebook, look at it, but they're in a hurry, and somebody comes in, and so they're just like, thunk. In fact, it could be Mr. Rias that did that, and so he just stuck it with his stuff, just like to move right in a hurry.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm expecting, is that it was placed there in a hurry.
It's locked. I guess that means we can't read it.
You understand that we were told not to read it. We're totally gonna read it though. I wonder what kind of secrets are in there to make her want to lock it.
I mean, it could be a diary for all
It's
we
a
know.
teenage girl's diary. Leave it alone.
A girl her age needs her privacy. Besides, everybody has a secret or two they don't want others to know about.
Why are you grinning like that? If there's anything in there about kisses or crushes, I think Mr. Wright would cry.
I think he's already crying. Well, we've examined just about everything, I think. Looking through other people's stuff was so thrilling, like I'm doing something naughty.
You are doing something naughty, Athena. I know what you mean. Just don't go poking around at my things at the office.
Oh,
You
there's nothing
already
interesting there.
You already have!
Why? What do you have to hide? Now I'm curious.
I don't think I like how her eyes lit up all of a sudden. Anyway, we better get this notebook to Trucy. But that's after we go to the stage. So thinking about it.
I was just gonna start presenting stuff to her.
Oh yeah, by all means. There used to be this thing, I guess I saw it in like really old sitcoms from the 60s or something like that, or I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you could open a letter, like you could steam open a letter, and then you'd be able to reseal it.
Yeah,
Because it wouldn't like do
I've
anything.
seen that in all kinds of stuff too. Yeah.
Right? Since I know there's no way she watches my videos, my grandmother used to snoop through my mail, and she would steam open my letters.
Wow.
Do you know how long it took me to forgive her for that?
That is messed up.
Yeah.
It's a shame Troop Grammary won't ever be as they were back in their heyday.
That's just a passage of time.
I clicked the wrong thing.
I don't know how you missed that badly.
Right?
Yeah, but I have every faith Trucy will restore the troop to its former glory. This has
Me
got
too.
to be a lot of publicity for her.
Right? And then you'll be really busy as Trucy's assistant.
Well, despite my obvious talent, I'm clearly not getting anywhere as a lawyer. Yeah, I guess so.
Wait, did you just agree with me?
What did I agree? It must be that self-loathing.
I guess it means you're finally settling into the role. Don't worry, I'll take over all the lawyering from now on.
I'll just be third fiddle, fourth fiddle, less and less prominent. No, it doesn't. He just seems to really hate himself.
A mysterious locked notebook. I wonder if there's anything about me in there.
Probably.
Like that one time I ate her pudding.
You horrible woman!
I wonder if she was mad at me for doing that.
Probably! Don't worry. If there's one thing I know about Trucy, it's that she's more mature than some people I know.
She's more mature than Mr. Wright?
Probably.
That dragon looks sad. Oh, I did a bad thing.
Yeah, but the dragon was mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what other extremely important details we've forgotten about this series. I mean, in your case, you've probably forgotten everything.
Well, I also have only played about half as much as you have.
Well, let's get down to investigating, shall we? Just make sure you don't move anything or I'll get in big trouble. Fine, I promise.
I mean, we could just take photos.
We won't move anything this time. Promise to only move the things I have to. I think they're referring to the ramen cart.
I don't remember anything that happened in Apollo Justice, silly David.
You're right. Well, I have my own investigation to conduct, but let me know if you need anything. I kind of want a police detective to be like kind of harsh and hostile again, or at least like kind of standoffish and dumb. You know, it's like maybe one of the reasons that Gavin just made such a blah impression on me was that he was always friendly and cooperative with Apollo,
and not really confrontational.
And Emma was always friendly and cooperative with Apollo. She would actually cooperate with Apollo over her job.
Right.
So it's like everybody just cooperates with him.
And just a different feel.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since we've done any investigating, since the last game.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's dive right in with the tutorial. You do remember how to do this, right? If you don't, I can give you a quick rundown.
We don't need the tutorial. Look, this is my third game. I don't need this.
Good, and I'm sure it'll all come back to me, too, as we go along.
Wait, you who just offered to give me a rundown?
Don't worry about the details, Apollo.
Oh, don't worry, I don't.
There's just some instinctive part of me that needs to examine the cameras, Damon.
Well, go right ahead.
Maybe we'll find some mono coins.
That video camera's pointed right at the stage. How mysterious. I wonder what it recorded. I want to take a peek, but Emma might not actually let us get away with that.
I mean, surely it would show up in court anyway as evidence, right? I mean,
yeah,
that seems like a pretty big...
But the sooner we find out, the better. So if we
That's true.
I mean, that's the Phoenix Wright tradition, is to just sneak a look at as much evidence as we can before the trial, so nothing catches us off guard and we can use it.
Oh my god.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, this residue data is so fascinating. She's so fixated on that bloodstain data, her eyes are getting bloodshot.
I'm scared.
We can probably get away with looking at it.
Quick, Apollo, while Emma's off in forensics fantasy land. Let's see what's recorded on the camera. I'm going to say this very loudly so she can hear us.
Ah, that's an Athena special. Indeed, it's the footage. Man, Mr. Hat looks great, but of course this is a video game, so the tricks don't actually have to work.
Right?
I still want to know how Bonnie did the fire to heart.
Maybe some special kind of bubble gum.
Yeah, okay, so there was the shadow that you were talking about of Mr. Hat going up. And there's two holes to insert the sword through. Why wasn't there any blood? But nobody is actually saying that
he was killed that way.
Yeah, that hasn't... I mean, That might be, I can't remember the fellow's name, but that might be what the prosecution's case is going to be, but we don't know that for sure.
Yeah, also, if she's practiced so long with a plastic sword and a real sword, shouldn't she be able to instantly feel the difference?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe the sword isn't the part that's in question. We just don't know yet, so we just need to get all the pieces of evidence, and the only thing we got from that, you saw it when we watched the footage in the last episode, was that you could see Mr. Hat's shadow go up.
Yeah.
So it's the same video we saw on TV where you can't see the body at all.
Apollo, did you notice a strange shadow in that footage? Oh my god, it was relevant?
Of course it was relevant, you know that.
I guess so.
No, why? What? Ah!
I don't think it was my imagination, but I'm pretty sure I saw something.
A strange shadow, huh? I wonder what it was. Maybe I should watch it. It was Mr. Hat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it was Mr. Hat.
It was a Mr. Hat-shaped shadow.
Oh, I've seen something like this before. It's like that game where you stick swords into a barrel until the little man inside pops up.
What?
Pirate Panic? Pirate Panic is just like a little board game where you stick the little toy swords into a barrel until the pirate pops up.
I've never heard of that.
I mean, I've seen a couple animes where they had something like that as part of a school festival even. Like where a person hides inside, and when they get poked with the sword, like they're supposed to try and dodge it, then they pop up and you win the game.
Huh. I guess I'll say it. I think I already had. Huh. That doesn't sound like any game I've ever heard of.
Really? It's pretty famous in Europe. Did you have anything to play with as a kid?
Space rocket toys.
Ooh.
Oh, you know us simple Americans. We're happy with just a hoop and a stick. Because when I think Apollo's 25 or 24, because when 24 or 25-year-old Apollo Justice was a kid, it was 1897. And I'm American. Wink, wink.
Time to examine the parapet. Are you impressed I knew what that was?
That makes sense. Man, you've been getting epaulets and parapets and parapets.
Paralets, epipets.
Wonder what you're gonna get next. Oh, hey, this is a curtain. I wonder what's behind it. So it's a curtain, huh? The backstage area. There's magic equipment and stuff like that back there.
Now, when you say magic equipment, do you mean it is equipment that has been enchanted with magic, or... No, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Apollo, it's not a longsword +2, nerd. I'll open it a crack and check it out later. You weren't thinking of opening that curtain, were you?
Perish the thought.
Who? Me? Would I ever do a thing like that? Why won't you let me do it? You used to let me do it all the time. Guess I'll have to ask her to open it for me later.
Or, you know, just hit this button here. Oh, no, I guess that is in front of the curtain. Okay. And now it's time to examine this magic thing where you cut someone in 3 pieces.
I don't know how that works.
Me either.
I don't really know how too many of them work, but I do know that's a classic.
We have one of these in the office too, don't we?
Yeah, that poor magic prop we use as a shelving unit. I'd kind of like to see Trucy perform this trick sometime, just not on me.
Oh, you know she's gonna. Well, we both know you'd be the one in the box if she ever did.
Yeah, we both acknowledge that. I feel bad for the prop, but it could stay a shelving unit in that case.
Oh, but I really wanted to see it.
But if she messes up like she did today, I mean, oops. Solidarity.
Wait, there was just a little something, just right.
There wasn't a little.
Oh, there wasn't a little? Don't doubt my eagle eyes, now that I have glasses.
Your evil eyes?
I meant to say eagle eyes, but I goofed up.
This is what they call a set piece. It's a piece of the onstage scenery. I mean, it's a part of the set. It's part of the set. That's how you say it. It is a set piece.
It's a piece of the set.
But it's because it's a piece of the set, not part of the scenery. Anyway, it suddenly fell down after the body was revealed, if I remember correctly. What are you looking at?
I thought I was looking at the stairs, but I guess they counted that as the dragon.
Must have been like the wing pointed out of the
Oh, yeah, I see that. Just as the brave heroine screams, the spell on the dragon breaks. Losing its wings, the dragon falls to the ground.
What have you been reading lately?
That moment marked the collapse of Trucy's magical kingdom.
Oh my god, and I'm the one who said something awful before, but you did it all poetic-like. Magic, huh? Yeah, sure. The timing was so perfect, I'd be genuinely surprised if it was magic.
Apollo, I was speaking in metaphor.
Who are you? You're not Athena. Emma, can I ask you a question? Shh! This is the best part. She won't even look this way.
Good lord.
Ooh, what great prints. Another set for my collection. One day I'll have everyone in Japan.
Oh, God.
I mean, America.
She, certainly seems to enjoy her work, doesn't she?
We'll just never understand how people like that think. Actually, I totally do. There's a sword here. It's covered in blood, so it must be the murder weapon. Okay.
Good lord!
But there was no blood when he fell. Now that could be...
That's true.
That could be because, you know, video game.
Right.
Or... It can't have been Trucy, though. It cannot have been Trucy. It cannot have been the trick.
Yeah.
She performed the trick successfully.
Yeah.
Okay? Because not only, like you said before, not only would you instantly notice the weight, especially when you practice that often, not only would you instantly notice the difference in weight and feel as you move it, but you can't just stab somebody and not notice the resistance.
I mean, come on.
And that's all the way through. Okay, that's a lot of blood. It's not, you're only gonna get that if you actually stab all the way.
Trucy said she was sure she switched it out with the rubber sword.
Unfortunately, this one certainly doesn't look like it's made of rubber. Hey, Emma? Were there any fingerprints on the sword?
Don't get too excited now.
Let's see. According to my data, no prints were found. But that could be because the culprit wiped them off.
Or everyone in the stage was wearing gloves.
Hey, look at the poster.
Okay. Everyone else is wearing gloves.
Well,
I mean, except maybe...
Dude, they're not in the show. They're... I wanted to see Mr. Rios.
Yeah, okay,
because I didn't think he was actually wearing gloves. And I mean, for the purposes that we're talking about, fingerless gloves aren't. But I mean, it's not going to be his prints on it.
Trucy was wearing gloves, though.
Yeah.
That's part of her costume.
Right. And Bonnie, and you know, don't know about Bonnie.
Yeah, I guess we don't know.
Come to think of it, Trucy was wearing gloves during the show. So she certainly wouldn't have left any prints either.
I like how she phased through the dragon to talk to...
Oh, great. You looked at the sword first. Well, we still have time to look at everything. Something isn't right. It just doesn't make any sense for, like, the reasons that those guys pointed out earlier.
What's the matter, Apollo? You're making that weird thinking face again. How does thinking work?
You know,
I just kind of say whatever comes to my mind.
You do, yeah. For some reason, I'm making that weird thinking face. How did what should have been a rubber sword get switched with a metal one without anybody noticing or noticing any resistance and less blood than there ought to be?
Mr. Hat! He was holding a sword before the smoke cleared.
We don't know how the trick works, but I bet you're right.
Plus, when the dragon fell, there was another shadow shoot up. I saw another shadow shoot up.
That was Mr. Hat's shadow.
A second time. I saw a second shadow shoot up as the dragon fell.
Really? Go to the darn evidence then. Let's look at that.
It's not logged as evidence.
We'll look at it again in a minute then.
Yeah.
Plus, the timing of that dragon set piece falling down... It's like it's there to hide something. Wasn't that just a little too convenient? Why would everything suddenly just break?
Yeah.
Something just isn't sitting right.
Ground control to Major Apollo.
I'm fine! I mean...
Can you hear me, Major Apollo?
Right,
the
Agency?
Circuit's dead. There's something wrong.
Right, Agency? We have a problem. Athena, I think I've got it. I think somebody switched Trucy's rubber sword for the metal one.
Huh?
That doesn't make sense, though.
No, it doesn't. Please elaborate.
To pin the murder on her.
Someone switched the swords? But when could they have done that?
Well, Trucy had to have been holding the right sword at the right time.
If this is true, then this must mean that Mr. Rios was killed before his body showed up.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, and I mean, I guess the Mr. Hat thing is possible too, but you'd think that a puppet operated like from strings wouldn't actually have the physical strength to impale someone all the way through, right?
That's true.
That's why it's just weird.
Yeah.
That's why it seems like he was murdered elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And else when.
Yeah.
But as for when that could be, we don't know all the details, so... Well, when everyone was too busy to notice. Somebody could have switched Trucy's rubber sword with a metal one.
After the set piece fell, that seems like the best reason for it to have fallen. Like, that's why it fell. So while everything was blocked by the dragon, the switch could have been made.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because she would have noticed in any other case.
It couldn't have been during, because that's not possible.
And it couldn't have been right before.
Because she would have noticed.
Yeah, so it has to be after.
And yeah, she would have noticed as soon as she was moving it.
Yeah.
After the set piece fell, everybody in the audience was kicked out of the theater. In the ensuing chaos, somebody could have carried out a cover-up operation. Any one of the stagehands or show personnel, like
Bonnie
or Robert Downey Jr., who went in immediately afterwards, could have done it
That's
before
true.
the police arrived.
So what you're saying is somebody's actively trying to frame Trucy for the crime.
Well, considering the circumstances we found ourselves in and the experience we all have, that would appear to be the case.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's only how it is in every case. Yeah, some disgusting individual is trying to get away with murder.
So it's someone related to the show.
There's definitely a very high chance of that. Now, if we could just figure out who it is... I want to take another look at that footage, but Emma's right there.
You just leave this one to me. Athena Sykes, human whisperer.
Now,
Hey, Emma.
now I know you have this psychology thing going on, but it's completely at odds with how you actually act.
Oh, Emma. Or human shatterer, as the case may be.
Now, human shouterer makes way more sense.
Could you teach me how to find fingerprints?
You want me to explain forensics to you? Oh, you bet. Could I ever? I like your moxie, girl. Here, now watch carefully. What you do is blah 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 blah. Wow, good job, Athena.
All right, now pay attention to the backdrop when the dragon drops.
When the dragon drops, okay.
Like in roughly the same kind of area, too.
It's still weird that the okay,
Did
you're
you
right.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that didn't look like Mr. Hat.
But it was another shadow.
The magic of editing will let me know by the time I'm doing this. When, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of Mr. Hat shaped, but I don't think so.
Right.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's when it was. It's still weird the person on that camera didn't look at the body, but thank goodness, because of that, we have...
Yeah.
this. Okay. I really want to check out that shadow. I sure wish I could take this video with me, but I guess I'd better not.
Man, Apollo, I learned all about fingerprints. They're boring.
Well, it's just like how ballistic markings are explained to the judge in every single Phoenix Wright game. I mean,
He never took a class for it.
dude, and besides, did you say it was really boring? Are you kidding? You get to like tap all over the screen and it's just like this puff of dust every time you do
Or
it.
speaking as Athena.
There's no way she wouldn't love that. Dust everything for Prince, you bet! Hurrah! Dust, 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 dust.
You are already printed. Wow, this dragon is a lot more handmade than I expected.
What does that mean? You have to hand make specialty set pieces.
Apparently Apollo did!
Yeah, well, I can't tell you how many hours I put into that freaking thing.
What? You made it? I mean, it looks good.
I am Trucy's assistant, you know. She used to be my assistant. Trucy had me help put it together, you know? Just like I just said, as her assistant.
She has you wrapped around her little finger, doesn't she?
Yes. Trucy's smile has some kind of magical power that makes it impossible to say no.
It almost feels like you've got a strong bond with her.
So, this is the coffin the dead body appeared from.
Because there's like a little elevator thing underneath it.
I haven't actually examined that yet. Would you two mind giving me a hint?
Ooh! No sweat!
Trucy said the coffin was supposed to be empty when she stabbed it. So how'd the victim even get in there? From the bottom?
From the bottom, like we already have a diagram for.
Can you look at that diagram one more time just for like mind refreshing? That's the weirdest way to say that? Mind refreshing? What?
Okay, there's like a little ladder thing, but she did mention that there was like like an elevator poppy-uppy thing under here too, like to the right.
And just because that looks like a ladder, oh man, this is thrilling, huh? Just because that looks like a ladder doesn't necessarily mean that's a ladder.
That's true.
So, okay.
I bet there's a secret door or something like the diagram we just looked at.
Do you want to read that line again? Isn't that like the first time you read it? It sure is an oddly shaped thing, isn't it? Huh. Who knew it could unfold into something like this?
Everyone at the show, I'd imagine.
Well, I heard that since it's used for magic tricks, the left and right panels are made to be interchangeable.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be pretty important on account of the fact it's highlighted.
I was going to say that same thing, plus we got that noise. How that helps with magic tricks, though, I have no idea. I'm sure they make use of it in some way we can't even imagine, but likely all the details relevant will come up exhaustively during the case.
That's true. Now, this is just me just pulling something out of the ether.
I bet I know what you're going to say, and if I'm right, I think you're right.
I think it's because...
I like how you said pulling it out of the ether in about a magic show.
It only felt appropriate. I think
Let me interrupt you one more time.
No, it's fine. We're just moving on now.
Okay, no, what do you got?
If there's traces of blood on the... I don't know why I said blood weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, this time you interrupted yourself by going bleh.
Bleh. If there's traces of blood...
Bleh.
Stop interrupting me.
Okay.
I kill you. I'll show you a magic trick right here. I'll make Damon disappear. Anywho, if there's like traces of blood on the slot, then that means that Bonnie could have stabbed from the other side and then just swapped the panels around. That's it. What are you looking at me for? Is that what you thought I was going to say?
You made me disappear.
Oh.
No, you're right.
Fair point.
Just like I said way back in the beginning of that whole whatever it was, I don't even know, and it was surely terrible. That's what I thought you were going to say, and I believe you're right. I'm sure they make use of it in some way we can't even imagine.
Except we did.
Bleh.
Don't you bleh me.
Bleh. Well, you see, bleh is basically the equivalent of why there wasn't any actual blood. See, there would have been blood, but instead there was bleh.
Where'd all the bleh go?
Because they just don't want to show all the bleh when it comes to like the video game, like all on screen. Even though I think that's a pretty important detail. Wait a minute. It looks like the bottom of the coffin opens too.
We've already established this!
Even though we already know that's how you got into it.
Ooh, a secret door! Let's try opening it! Oh, it is a ladder.
Oh, look at that. It really is a ladder.
It seems to lead to someplace under the stage.
Why are we saying the exact same thing? Guys, Trucy already told you this, though, to be fair, we didn't... Well, no. You had to do that first, so Trucy told them all that.
Yeah.
That's right. It goes to the understage passage. Then again, this is just there's like a lot of details they throw at you. It's important that they just establish them all.
It's pitch black down there. Hold on, I think I see something glowing faintly. The orb of Kurain!
So this is where it ended up.
It's hard to make anything out from up here. If only I had some kind of LED screen on my neck that probably doesn't have a flashlight function, but should.
If you try to go down there, the magicians will get mad at you. Apparently, there are things down there that will give away the secrets behind their tricks.
Well, surely you're not going to let that stop you from carrying out your investigation.
What a convenient excuse. Like, why don't we just do an NDA or something, like saying we're not going to expose their secrets,
Yeah.
but we have to do it in order, because it's relevant to the case.
Well, that sucks. It's all right there, and we can't even check it out.
We're definitely going to have to examine that understage passage at some point, though.
Exactly.
Maybe on day 2 of the investigation, when it becomes relevant. A white outline, huh? So this is where the body was. See? Like, the fact that no blood is there either has to be relevant, or you have to convince me that it's blah instead.
Now, there's something interesting about his left hand, which I'm sure isn't relevant right now, but will come in handy later.
His left hander is right.
Oh, I guess it's his right hand. It's our left side.
Yeah, the fact that you can't see
It's
the
like a
hand.
cloth or something over it, yeah.
Yeah, that's not his cape. Well, actually, maybe that is his cape, but the fact remains that his hand is covered by it, and that's not a natural way to look at it, right?
Yeah. It can't. Well, if it's his cape, he's not wearing it. Or it's like a short cape.
That's not a short cape.
But that's also not how this...
No, it's see what I'm saying?
Okay,
That is the cape that was
'cause
draped
there's the
over his
cowl.
hand instead, but that's like not a natural way where it would fall.
Okay, and then there's also his cowl, so yeah, you're right, okay.
No.
Now that we've obsessed about this detail more...
No, what that means is his cape covered up his hand, and that's weird.
Yeah.
Like if he was like you pointed out, I'm telling you that's more evidence for the point you made. But if you want to try and argue against that and then begrudgingly admit that I supported what you said, then you're wrong.
I'm such a contrarian.
I don't even understand.
What exactly did it look like just after the incident occurred, I wonder?
Oh, I have a photo of the crime scene. Here you go. Guess you can't hide that from us. Yes.
Yeah, that's not suspicious in any way!
So it is on both sides.
There's a loop on his back for like something to connect to, like a pulley or something.
Yeah, and you can't be stabbed in the back in this thing.
Yeah, you're right! There's no slot in the back!
Now, the hand could be just a coincidence after all, but you're right. The hook on the belt...
It still seems suspicious.
That means that statue... What the heck kind of...
Shadow?
Yeah, that means that shadow... Other than the S and the amount of syllables, there's nothing even in common.
Don't worry about it. Oh, wow. It looks like he was stabbed in the back.
That shadow must have been him.
Or something.
No, it had to have been him. Well, I mean, it was going up, it's true.
Yeah, it was going up.
Let's look at it again, though, because if I want to see if there's a hat on it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely what killed him. What's this thing around his waist that the commentators have already talked about? No, it's a stunt harness. A stunt wire can be attached to it so the person can float and fly through the air. Just like what happened in the show.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, he did fly in Act 1, didn't he? Look at that. You could still open the back and stab it.
That is I guess that's what we're about to find out. Okay. Yeah, there's a panel there. Apollo, look! There's a secret door in the back panel of the coffin. Do you think Mr. Rias could have entered the coffin through there?
If he could have done it without Trucy noticing, then maybe. What?
Yeah, but hold on. We clearly see her stabbed through the side, though. So unless they're going to try and say it happened during the smoke cloud, like she killed him during the smoke cloud.
Well, you know, we have to start by proving the basic stuff, and it's like the prosecution will already be ready.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll be like, aha, but this was the trap. So, because remember, he wasn't supposed to be in there. The coffin was supposed to be empty, but for some reason he was stuffed there to make this happen, and that's what Athena's talking about. Do you think he could have come in here? But that's because they're operating on the wrong premise.
Yeah,
It's not that he would not have been here. That would not have even made any sense.
Right.
Well, I mean, he did get injured in the previous show.
Uh-huh.
That might mean that he's impulsive in some weird way and tries to change something in the dress rehearsal, because this is a dress rehearsal, not a performance.
Right.
But, I mean, I just think that's weak tea, you know? It just seems like he was placed there
He had
after
to have been placed there, or the cloak would not be there to reveal his stab wound.
And you know what you said? That it's like he was stabbed through the side, and then he was put there.
Well, he would stab through the back. Oh, well, yeah. What I was saying with Bonnie,
no, I mean, like, Trucy...
Or, yeah.
No, I mean, Trucy put the rubber sword in the coffin.
Oh, yeah,
and then he was put in it. Like, I want to look at that footage again to see if there's enough time for that.
It's like two magicians trying to out-magic one another right under each other's noses.
No, a show is cooperative. Especially stuff that requires, like, stagecraft and, like, technical stuff with stage magic, which both of them are. You don't try and one-up each other in the show where you're working together.
Right?
So I just don't buy anything that they're saying. Let's see. Can we look at that one more time before we get kicked out?
Well, I can move to the left, so maybe there's something else I could look at from the other angle.
No, it's the same place.
Ah, okay.
What else do we need to do on this stage? Emma, did you find any fingerprints on the coffin? Actually, I haven't checked yet. I was going to do that at the end. It's so much fun. I like to save the best for last. We aren't exactly talking about dessert here. Oh, but we are. I gave up Snackers for this. Would you like to partake in my delicious dessert? I don't mind sharing.
Oh, Apollo, you sly lady killer, you. Oh, yes, please. There's always room for dessert, right?
All right, I guess I'll join you two. So, could you show us how you check for prints, Emma? Even though... Can you explain ballistic markings to me? I need to know. Sure, let's start with the basics. I love giving this lecture. As you know, fingerprints are an excellent way of identifying someone. That's because no two people have the same set of fingerprints, not even twins. So if we find any prints on the coffin, they might lead us to the killer. If the culprit was dumb enough to leave prints behind, sure.
It could just be a wild goose chase. You never know.
Let's go ahead and dust for prints now. Tap everywhere like a madman.
I guess so.
And I always blew on it too. I always really got into these.
Yeah, the interactive stuff.
Yeah.
Me too on the one I played.
Let's see. It was in 2 games you played.
I liked it both times.
No, it was in... Never mind. This looks like a promising spot. Try dusting the area with fingerprint powder. Keep tapping the screen until the powder covers the surface thoroughly. When you're done, tap blow to get rid of the excess powder. It's a shame you can't press a button and then blow into the microphone, but this is a phone. The powder in this bottle is all we have to work with.
Uh-oh.
Even though I'm carrying this bottle full of a billion things and you've never had a limit when this has come up in previous games.
Ah, here we go.
If you run out, try blowing on the area. Any excess powder will be returned to the bottle.
That is magic.
Weird. What? That's a way to shake it up, I guess. Okay, I think I'm ready to give Billy the controls to try it. It really is fun, you know?
Whee!
I mean, I don't know if I'd obsess about it, but... Oh my gosh.
I drew a lion! Sorry, what?
You're totally gonna run out, man. You're failing. Why did you believe me? I'm just messing with you!
Look, I've almost got a hand here.
Yeah. Whee!
Ah, that's how it works. It didn't all go with one blow. See, there's still some left. I had to blow again to get it back.
Neat.
That's what I meant.
This is pretty fun, you know?
Okay, so it is just the fingers.
Poof, 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 poof. Try. There we go.
I just didn't get enough.
Oh, you found some prints. It looks like they weren't dumb enough to not leave anything behind. The fingers of somebody's left hand.
Just the fingers.
Now, let's try comparing these with the ones we have on file. First, tap the Analyze button to select a print. Next, select a print you want to analyze and tap Confirm. I like how they really did mix it up this time around. So, not all of them are going to be the same? Huh.
I guess.
I've got a pretty clear print here. I wonder whose it is. I have the prints of everyone involved in the case right here.
I have the prints of everyone in town involved right here.
Everybody she's ever gotten. Just choose the person whose prints you'd like to compare the sample against.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious whose they are.
Well, the last person who was in the coffin was...
And, I mean, come on.
Yeah, just like you said. So we can get those two. We already do have them. Like Mystery Tens or Robert Downey Jr. or whatever.
Just call him Robert Downey Jr.
I think I will. Until we know what his name is.
I remember that, like, icon. Like that little mascot head.
Bingo. Looks like the prints belong to the deceased, Mr. Rios. Oh, what a clever pun. Well, if we found prints here, maybe we can find them elsewhere on the coffin, too?
That's a logical assumption.
Guess I'll try Dustin for more prints. Poof, 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 poof. That's kind of a satisfying little poof.
Yeah, it is.
And like the noise that it makes.
This is pretty cathartic.
Now make a mistake. You can't.
Good Lord!
Wow!
How in depth do you want? Look, I've got a thumb. Is that not? Oh, I need to click analyze. It's not just going to give me a little ding.
Okay, so this should also be Mr. Rios. Found some! These prints are apparently Mr. Rios's too.
To the surprise of no one.
Shall we try looking for prints on the outside of the coffin now?
Yes.
Why? What about the rest of the coffin?
I guess there wouldn't be any reason for them to think there would be other people's prints inside the coffin?
Sure, but shouldn't you check in the other places?
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should.
Well, anyway.
That is the
There must
tutorial.
not have
Fine.
been. This time, you'll be able to rotate the coffin and look at it from different angles. Ooh, how exciting. That'll give you a chance to examine it thoroughly. You can swipe the main screen to turn the coffin in any which way you'd like. And you can use the mini navigation window in the top right to jump right to where the action is, and I wonder if that was on the other screen originally, and what are we talking about? If you ever get stuck or confused, you can always tap reset. And if I find any prints, I'll choose one to tutorial. See, now we just get to go mad dusting everywhere.
I mean, there shouldn't be any prints here at all.
That's right. This is what it's all about, right? So you're going to rotate everything first? I do think it's interesting how people have like this baseline difference in terms of how they do it. Like, I know exactly the order that there we go. What's that? I know exactly how I do it. But it's just like the way that you think.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying I think it's fascinating.
I must recover every last ounce of powder.
Don't worry,
Okay.
Emma won't let you miss it.
So this should be, well, Bonnie's, because Trucy's wearing gloves.
Well, either Mr. Rios or Bonnie.
That's true.
All right, I'll just check it against my data. Huh? What? That's funny. It doesn't match the prints of anyone involved in this case.
Oh, really?
Who could it be? Really? None of them? Not even the other people in your list? What the?
Yeah, because, like, even Mr. Rennett's was in there. Wright, or however you say his name.
RETINZXpialidocious XYZ. Now then, I wonder if I can find any more prints. It couldn't have been Mr. Hat because Mr. Hat is a doll and doesn't have fingerprints. Or a puppet, rather.
Yeah. I think I know where to look.
Yeah, the back. Be on the other side. No, you're right. Exactly where you're doing it. Or not, but somewhere on the back.
This is really tricky.
Well,
oh,
the game...
that's how that works.
The game wasn't really designed for this, so frankly, it's just nice that we get like more high-res graphics. I like how the place you blow is actually relevant, but if you look at what you're getting in one puff, I mean, this is like this huge blowing power, right?
Well, you know, cords of steel.
Point taken.
What the?
Well, there's still the front,
That's
and you
true.
haven't methodically gotten the other stuff.
That's true.
Like, see, the fact is, what I was going to suggest at first was being methodical about it. Okay, first off, like, check this out, right? Go back to that other print. You know, like just dusting every surface of it so you don't have to remember what you have and haven't done. No, what is that? That's a right hand.
Well, it's a left hand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a left hand, so we need to look to its right.
Well, I did check over here already.
No, stop. Go ahead and blow all that off. I realize I said that after just doing something methodical, but let's find where the other hand would be. The other hand would be...
Maybe here?
No, I was going to say, why don't we just try moving it directly down from there, right? On the
Like
front.
this?
You're not interested in the front.
Oh, right, because there's its... Aha!
See? There it was.
David, you are intelligent.
Judging from its position and location, it might have been made when someone put the lid on the coffin. Let's see now. There was one part during the show where someone put this lid on after Trucy had gotten into the coffin.
Right, Bonnie.
Therefore, this print should belong to Bonnie. And indeed it does.
Oh, you can tell before they do the check? Does it actually physically match?
Well, maybe if you'd actually click through them.
Oh. Who's got time for that, man?
Looks like the print belongs to that bunny girl.
Come to think of it, she did put the lid on the blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
She did put the lid on the coffin during the show.
That's probably when she left her print on the lid. So there's nothing unusual about this at all.
Except, no, hold on. Except the way she's holding it, there should be a print over here, not up on top.
That's true. You're right.
So that's suspicious.
So why don't we go down to look at that, the area where she's actually holding it there?
Yeah, look across from it.
There should be the prints where she's actually holding it here, but there's also the ones that you were discussing.
And remember, the ones up top didn't match anyone currently.
Yeah. Or maybe it's not actually something that's relevant. Apparently so. Well, it looks like that's about all the prints we're going to find. To sum everything up, the prints we found belong to the victim, Mr. Vias, the bunny assistant, Bonnie, and some third unidentified person. By the way, doesn't that make it extremely easy to be like, the true killer?
Yeah.
They don't belong to Trucy.
But that's strange. We didn't see anybody else up there on that stage during the show except for that second suspicious shadow.
I think that shadow was Mr. Rios. Well, in any case, it was somebody who had a cape, and I think the head looked the same. The other one was really clearly Mr. Hat. You can tell because the hat. But,
and like no legs.
And Mr. Rios has a top hat.
Yeah.
And I guess it was on the body.
They may have dropped down, planted the body through the top, and then zooped up.
Right, or it also may have been that since he already was attached to the harness, that from the top where he was killed by the mysterious killer, he was dropped down on the harness into the... Look, I'm not...
Okay, I see what you're saying. I gotcha.
I don't necessarily know if that's true, but if we could look at the footage, we'd have a better idea.
Right,
and what you said is also very possible. There's no reason to assume it's...
Right,
There's no reason to say, no, I'm just getting all the...
Yeah. Does this mean some outsider was up there, somebody unrelated to the show?
Well, if it wasn't somebody who was staff, then it must have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can't really say at this point. Because if it was staff, Emma would already have their prints.
Right.
Well, thank goodness we didn't find any of Trucy's fingerprints, right?
I'd be really surprised if we did.
And there's an extra person that just smacks of the true killer. Like, any lawyer worth their salt should be able to just shriek, and who was this, and why was it there?
Well, they didn't have this info till now.
But that is only because Trucy was wearing gloves. No, that's what I'm saying. In court, it's like, who's this? That can't be nothing.
Right.
Hey, Emma, there's something else that's been bothering me about the prince. Don't you think there's something odd about Mr. Rias's prince? I mean, it's two left hands.
Oh, what?
Now that I look at it like this,
Yeah.
you know. Odd? What's odd about them? He was a mutant, don't you know? Well, if Mr. Rias was standing in the coffin facing forward, he would have left prints like this, right? But when we look at the actual print...
I didn't catch that they were both left hands.
I only caught it right there when he just showed it. They're facing backwards. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You don't get fingerprints from the back of people's hands. But those are both Rias prints.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you know? You're right. I was so busy worrying about identifying the fingerprints that I forgot to do the basic police detective work, even though I've already been a police detective for years. I wonder how they wound up like that.
Maybe he was accidentally facing the wrong way at first, but then turned around later?
That is really plausible.
That's possible, yeah.
That's very plausible. No, the coffin is much too small for a guy his size to turn around.
I guess it's not that plausible then.
Especially when he's wearing a hat, I guess?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, that's important because it's part of his costume. You gotta have the right costume when you're doing a show.
Yeah.
About all he would have been able to manage is maybe a little bit of twisting.
Then it really doesn't make any sense, does it? That's exactly why you pointed it out.
I think I might have hit on something major here. Okay. I have just one more question, Emma. Oh, yeah? What is it? Mr. Rias was stabbed in the back, right? But if he was standing in the coffin like this, how would that have worked? But he wasn't standing in the coffin like that.
Well, that's what they're assuming.
Well, he did fall like that, so he had to have been in there like that at some point. Oh, right, that. The lead prosecutor has an
Have an examination, actually.
An examination! The lead prosecutor has an explanation, actually. He thought that the victim might have tried to dodge the sword as it came into the coffin.
Okay. But he would have known the sword was coming if this was a trick that they... Okay. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Well,
but
the sword had to have come in from the back.
Well, like, if he twisted, like, the other direction. However, that does not explain why his cloak was up like that. And there's no stab on the cloak. Was he holding his cloak up inside the coffin?
And there's no blood on his cape.
Yeah, his cape is unscathed.
There's not enough blood and the cape is unscathed! So maybe he twisted his body and the sword ended up stabbing him in the back?
Maybe? That's what he's... Okay, fine.
That's his theory, anyway. I see. Well, I guess that sounds plausible. Well, I guess that just about wraps up our investigation of the stage and just about our episode, too.
Yeah. Actually, there's still the area behind that curtain.
Oh ho!
Miss Emma? Don't you want to know what's back there?
Sure do, but Emma told us not to move or touch anything, remember?
I'll ask her to teach me about, I don't know, DNA swabs or whatever.
But it's, isn't it fine if Emma moves something?
Yeah, well, she said, like, you better talk to me before something like that happens.
Come on. Would you quit staring at me? Fine, I'll go open it for you.
Wow, look at you, flaunting your lady killer eyes.
I have my ways, and they do involve my eyes.
They don't involve lady killing, do they?
You just twisted that around on me. That's pretty good. I'm only doing this so I won't get charged with animal abuse for not throwing you a bone.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. I guess puppy eyes can be just as effective.
My lady killing eye might perceive. It just came down to Athena's whining. All right, I'll be back. Ah, that part of the curtain. Well, go on and investigate to your heart's content. But before you go moving anything... I know. We'll be sure to beg you to do it first. Oh, by the way, just examine the backstage to move to the area beyond the curtain. Tutorial, yo! Okay, I think that wraps up today pretty well. I guess next time we'll finish up the investigation, talk to Trucy, and possibly even get to day 1 of the trial.